Ever wondered how those giant metal dinosaurs we call excavators came to be? You know, the ones that can dig up a whole backyard in an afternoon. Well, it wasn't a single AIA moment. It was a long, step-by-step journey of brilliant ideas built on top of each other. Let's dig into the story of the excavator. Our story starts way back, long before engines even existed. Think about ancient civilizations like the Romans or the Egyptians. They needed to build aqueducts, canals, and massive pyramids. They didn't have diesel-powered beasts, but they had human ingenuity. They developed early dredging tools, essentially long poles with buckets on the end, operated by teams of people or animals. These were the very first, very simple ancestors of our modern excavators, designed to scoop mud and sediment from waterways. But the real game changer came with the steam engine in the 18th century. This was the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, and everything was about to get bigger, faster, and more powerful. A brilliant American inventor named William Otis saw the potential. In 1839, he patented the first steam-powered mechanical shovel. People called it the Otis steam shovel. Imagine this thing. A clunky, massive machine on railroad tracks. It had a boiler puffing out steam, a series of gears and chains, and a single, rigid arm with a bucket on the end. It could only swing about halfway around, not a full 360 degrees like today's machines, but for its time, it was revolutionary. It could do the work of dozens of men, digging canals, laying railroad tracks, and mining. Or the Otis steam shovel was a true workhorse of its era, helping to build the very infrastructure of America. It was slow, it was noisy, but it was the first real step towards the excavators we know today. As the 19th century rolled on, other inventors started improving on Otis's design. They made the machines bigger, more powerful, and a little more mobile, but they were still mostly confined to railroad tracks. This was a huge limitation. What if you needed to dig somewhere without a pre-existing railway? That's where the next big leap happened. The move away from rails. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, companies started experimenting with different ways to make these shovels move. Some were put on steel wheels, but they were incredibly heavy and would just sink into soft ground. The real breakthrough was the development of continuous tracks, what we now call caterpillar tracks. This idea, originally developed for farm tractors, was a perfect fit for heavy shovels. These tracks spread the machine's immense weight over a larger area, enabling it to float over soft, muddy, or uneven terrain without getting stuck. Suddenly, the steam shovel was free from the rails. It could go almost anywhere. This was the birth of the crawler excavator. Around the same time, another crucial innovation was taking shape: hydraulic power. Early excavators used a complex system of cables, chains, and winches to move the arm and bucket. It worked, but it was clunky, required a lot of maintenance, and wasn't very precise. Hydraulics changed everything. By using pressurized fluid to move pistons and cylinders, engineers could create movements that were incredibly powerful, yet smooth and precise. The first hydraulic systems were a bit primitive, but the potential was obvious. An operator could now control the bucket with much greater accuracy, making the machine far more versatile. The first true all-hydraulic excavator was developed in the 1950s. This machine looked and moved much more like the excavators we see on construction sites today. The clumsy mess of cables was gone, replaced by sleek hydraulic cylinders. This made the machines more reliable, easier to operate, and capable of a much wider range of tasks than just scooping and dumping. And let's not forget the 360-degree rotation. Early steam shovels had a limited swing, but inventors soon figured out how to mount the entire upper stack through the cab. Engine, an arm on, a rotating platform, or slew ring. This allowed the operator to dig in one spot and dump the material anywhere around the machine without having to move the entire base. This single feature dramatically increased efficiency and became a standard for all modern So, you had steam power give way to diesel engines, which were more efficient and compact. You had railroad tracks replaced by versatile crawlers, and you had clunky cables and winches replaced by smooth, powerful hydraulics. Each of these steps was a massive invention in its own right. From the 1960s onwards, the evolution was more about refinement. Cabs became more comfortable and safer for the operator, with heating, air conditioning, and better visibility. The controls evolved from long, heavy levers to sensitive joysticks, making the machines easier and less tiring to operate for long hours. Then came the digital age. Today's excavators are packed with technology. We're talking GPS guidance systems that tell the operator exactly where and how deep to dig, down to the centimeter. We have onboard computers that monitor engine performance, fuel efficiency, and maintenance needs. Some excavators even have semi-autonomous features, where they can perform repetitive tasks like grading a slope with minimal input from the operator. Think about the attachments. An excavator is no longer just a digging machine. With quick coupler systems, an operator can switch from a digging bucket to a hydraulic hammer, a grapple for lifting logs, a shear for cutting steel, or an auger for drilling holes, all in a matter of minutes. This has transformed the excavator from a single-purpose tool into a versatile multi-tool for any construction site. So, from a simple bucket on a stick used by ancient Romans, to a steam-powered giant on rails, to a hydraulic GPS multitasking marvel of engineering, the journey of the excavator has been incredible. It wasn't one person or one invention. It was a chain reaction of innovation, with each generation of engineers and inventors standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before. It's a perfect example of how technology evolves, step by step, to solve problems and reshape our world. Next time you see one of these machines effortlessly carving up the earth, you'll know the centuries of history and ingenuity that went into making it possible. Thanks for digging into this story with me. If you enjoyed this journey through history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos about the amazing machines that build our world. See you in the next one.